Would you give Canelo Alvarez credit for beating Terrence Crawford?
That's the problem, right? It's a one-way street. I would give Terrence a ton of credit for beating Canelo, but no, not the other way around. Canelo's got a hard time even calling for the fight. You think Canelo getting called out by the smaller guy and turning down a big money fight? He hates that, but you can't call out the littler guy. You can't tell a dude, come up here and spot me 30 pounds. By the way, I failed drug testing. You've never failed drug testing. I mean, you know how much different it is? You get a juiced up Canelo versus little skinny Terrence Crawford, who's made.
Are we gonna relitigate Canelo Alvarez's drug test?
Come on. I'm a drug user. I cheated sport plenty of times. I cheated those same commissions. This is not to relitigate. We know our own. I'm a cheater. I know a cheater when I see one.
The bottom line is this. There's no way that you walk away from this without Canelo Alvarez looking like a punk. That's why everybody's scrambling. Let's lay out the facts. This fight shouldn't happen at all. Let's lay out the facts. This is also a fight that Terrence Crawford should not be able to win. Let's lay it all out there. This is a fight. If it was the other way around, every news boxing outlet would have something sharp, sarcastic, and slick to say about Terrence Crawford, and they would clown him and make fun of him and call him a coward. Now, am I right or am I wrong? Just switch the roles around and think of what you'll hear from people. Knowing what you know about boxing, you know that you'll hear all of what I said. All of it. The point is, they can't walk away with a victory, and it's all the risk. There's everything to lose here. Let's say you beat Terrence Crawford. You're supposed to beat Terrence Crawford. This is a fight that Terrence Crawford's not supposed to be winning. He came up 3 weight classes. It's no shocker if you win. We are only in this situation because Terrence Crawford is a freak of nature. It has nothing to do with Canelo Alvarez. All this stuff is based off of Terrence Crawford's strength. Nothing to do with Canelo Alvarez. And since they can't say he's too young like they did with Mayweather, and since they can't say he's too old because Terrence Crawford is older, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and the only thing that they're standing around saying is, oh fuck, how are we going to wiggle out of this? How are we going to create a narrative to protect Canelo? How are we as Rainbow Coalition Canelo fans going to come up with a narrative that saves him in this situation? You can't.
Would you give Canelo Alvarez credit?
You can't. This is what happens when the walls close in. And this is why the walls have closed in. Because he refused to fight the people that he's supposed to fight. We all know this is supposed to be a David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. That's why I never liked the fight in the first place, because it was fucking over David. I've been said this. Okay? But nonetheless, you guys want an easy route, and the Mexican fan base will celebrate any win, as you have seen with Ryan Garcia and Canelo Alvarez. They'll celebrate any win. They don't care how they win as long as they get a win. Okay? So the fan base is extremely weak and pathetic. But you can't walk away making Canelo look like a big guy in the situation, even if he can pull off a win. And that's what the fucking problem is. Y'all gonna have to face the music. Canelo shouldn't be doing it. That's really what y'all battling with. Canelo shouldn't be doing it. If Mayweather was doing what Canelo did, what would y'all say? And that's the problem with boxing right there. But no, there's no way Canelo could walk away with any type of credit. This is nothing but a lose-lose situation. But he'd rather do it like this than dealing with David. That's what y'all dealing with. And if you ask me, if I was going to lose, I would want to lose to David Benavidez, not Terrence Crawford. It's another big-ass gaping embarrassment on my resume. People already know I truthfully ain't shit. Canelo is here to satisfy Latino boxing fans, boxing prowess, or whatever you want to call it. He's here. Canelo is a product just for Mexicans and Latinos. Canelo is not made for the entire boxing world, because there's a standard that comes with that. Latinos have no standard. That's why they embrace cheat. This is why they cheat so much and everything, that and the third. And some would say if they can't cheat, they won't compete. That's where the saying comes from. They have to cheat to compete, but you can't walk away. And this is the crazy thing. Chael Sonnen shits on boxers all the time. He shits on boxing a lot. You know, I particularly don't really like Chael Sonnen, but he has these spaces where he can be real and he can be honest. And Chael Sonnen is one of the classic shit talkers of all time. He needs to go up in there with the best of them. A lot of people talk about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor ain't had shit on Chael Sonnen as far as skullduggery and shit talk. You know what I'm saying? But I know it hurts them coming from somebody like him because he's usually saying the bullshit. You know, but him himself saying, I'm a cheater and I know a cheater. And these guys can't do nothing but sit up here and laugh. And see, that's when cheating is funny. You see, when Chael brought up the fact that I know a cheater because I'm a cheater, now all of a sudden it's laughs. It's funny. Nobody wants to take nothing serious. You see what I'm talking about with them? Now it's funny, but they're so serious with Terrence Crawford with no allegations against them. No dirty test, no nothing. But when we bring up Canelo, it's funny. You guys have engineered this position a long time, and it started with the scorecards, fucking people over on the scorecards. We all knew that Canelo will fuck you over on the scorecards. We all knew that Canelo was taking steroids. We already knew it was hard to beat Canelo fair and square. We already knew Canelo could fight sparring partners coming off of a loss. We already knew Canelo had fake fights with Kovalev. We already knew Canelo was cherry picking out the fucking wazoo. We already know this about Canelo. So the fact that Canelo want to fight somebody coming up 3 weight classes, it's not a different from his character. It fits right in to his yellow streak. It fits right in. But then again, when I got a fan base that's as stupid as the Latino fan base, who don't really give a shit about competition, just representation, you know what? I might do the same thing Canelo doing. Fuck them. They don't care about shit. They don't care about nothing. But you can't walk away with giving him credit for anything. But that's the thing. You guys gonna want a credit for beating Terrence Crawford, while at the same time telling him that he's nothing to bat an eyelash at and he's an underachiever. But if he beats this fighter, y'all gonna be looking at Canelo like he's the baddest man on the planet, right? Well, then you need to talk about Terrence Crawford like that, the same and vice versa. But see, you guys don't want to do that. You guys don't want to give no credit and walk away with all the credit for beating the same person that you give no credit. That's the perfect example of the Latino fan base. Pathetic. This is why they juicing out the ass and still getting their ass whooped. How do you cheat this much and you still getting your ass whooped like this? How are you able to have the WBC and all these people in your corner and you motherfuckers are still struggling being dominant? That's embarrassing. In the sport that you participate the most in, you are still only second best. It has to hurt. I know it hurts. But nonetheless, Chael told him the truth. We're speaking on, if you think about it, to criticize Terrence Crawford for something that he hasn't done because he's fighting somebody who has a long evidence of cheating. If that's not the most disingenuous, racially biased, and if you can't see the racial politics in boxing, this is why the sport of boxing can never be fair, because boxing can't admit in its racial politics. That's why it's lopsided. This is why you can't gain no new fans. No, boxing will only get the trolls, the racists, and the gamers, and they're all one group. The trolls and the gamers and the racists, they all do the same thing. But this is why you can't gain no new fans. You're not going to gain. They think Jake Paul is bringing new fans. No, you're not getting any new fans in boxing. The people who are a fan of boxing, I'll say this, all the people who are fans of boxing we were all grandfathered in. It's because our uncles and our dad watched it. That's how you got the generation that watch boxing today. But my nieces and nephews and the ones up under me, they're not picking up boxing. Because truthfully, I wouldn't have picked up boxing if my father wasn't interested in it. Especially me, you know what I'm saying? I liked kickboxing at the time. I thought boxing was too slow. But I got into it through my dad, and then I fell in love with it. You know? But these kids, meaning if we didn't stumble upon boxing naturally, we got grandfathered in, then kind of I think the next generation needs to want to do the same thing that we did. You know what I'm saying? I got into boxing just to bond with my dad, to be honest with you. I didn't even like boxing like that. I used to sit and watch it because he was extremely interested. I wanted to be interested in anything he was interested in. That's how I got into boxing. I didn't stumble across boxing and say, oh, look at this sport. No, it was my dad's and my uncles. And boxing still needs that kind of help to gain fan bases. But people are not getting grandfathered in no more. You know what I'm saying? They'll land up on UFC and then occasionally come to boxing when you have a big event. But then after that big event, you'll lose them. They leave right back out of the sport. Plus, to add on top of that, you can't come in this sport without being racially attacked and stuff. Who the fuck wants that? We all go to work, take care of our families, and we don't want to deal with the bullshit. We want to kick back and relax. Who goes to work and deal with the bullshit, deal with traffic, deal with assholes to get home to participate in a hobby, in a sport that they like, only to get slapped with racism for participating in it and commenting on it? Who the fuck wants that? Nobody wants that. That's why I say the Latino fan base is the worst fucking fan base of any sport in the world. They are fucking horrible. They make it impossible for anybody new to like this. Who the hell want to walk in to a racist Wild Wild West sport? Who? Nobody.